now proudly presented on SNME. That's Sunday night's main event, Patreon and free feed. Hey guys, what's going on? It's your host, your boy George Mackay, and the one and only
Uncle Bobby V, baby.
Or should we say Uncle Janai Kai?
Well, it's a tribute. It's a combined tribute. We got the Salina de la Renta color and the Janai Kai style.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
They were the two big winners, I think, tonight.
Yeah, definitely statements made all across the board. If you guys don't know what we're talking about Slaughterhouse. Sorry, our review was a little bit late. We weren't able to do one live day of because we had previous engagements. But hey, we're doing one now. Better late than never. And we're here to talk all things MLW Slaughterhouse, their newest monthly pay-per-view or Fight Plus subscriber. You get it included in your subscription fees. If not, you could pay the $14.99, I think it is, or just pay the $7.99 a month to get all that great content.
Good deal.
It's a great deal.
Great deal.
So we're here to talk all things Slaughterhouse and what an event this was. Should we get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So first match off the top is, of course, the Mance Warner recreation or rebringing back 32 years later. It's the Chamber of Horrors match. That's right. This match has not been seen on television in 32 years. And it took a psychopath like Mance Warner to be the one to resurrect this match.
Yeah, and it was pretty wild. Like, the centerpiece was clearly the electric chair,
which is, in case anybody doesn't know, and I had to look this up just to re-verify because it's been 32 years. That means this match would have taken place when we were 8.
Yeah.
And I don't think our parents would have allowed us to watch a match like this at 8. But it is a steel cage wrapped in barbed wire with a whole bunch of weapons and goodies on the inside of the cage. But the only way to win is to put one of the opposing team members in an electric chair and flip the switch. Yes, that's right. You have to flip the switch with a member of the opposing team in that chair to be declared the victors.
You must commit murder to win.
Essentially. So it was the Callings, Talon, and Cannonball versus SGC's Matt Justice and Mance Warner. So this match was just all kinds of crazy. We had screwdrivers, we had staples, we had doors, we had more doors, we had pumpkins, we had chairs on the outside, then also on the inside. We had the electric chairs safely in the corner. So when I'm talking about chairs, I'm actually talking about steel chairs. And I think one of our favorite moments was Cannonball kind of incapacitated the center of the ring. Mance Warner picks up one of the carved out jack-o'-lanterns, flips that sumbitch over, goes to punch a hole out of the bottom, and perfectly places the pumpkin over Cannonball's face.
And the smile on, like, if you go back and watch it, because he's got the bit, you could see how happy he is. He's like, oh yeah, baby, this is coming off good. He's big as fucking, he's so happy. He's sitting there like grinning like a fucking jackass. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's just amazing.
Like a kid at Christmas that got the one gift that they were hoping for.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And I can imagine his inner monologue just be like, "Oh yeah, baby, this pumpkin right on there.
We are so over."
It was a lot of fun. This match. It was, Matt Justice doing Matt Justice things, diving off the cage, and
Mance Warner doing Mance Warner things, and Talon and Cannonball being great opponents.
Yeah,
just entertaining all around. And of course, Talon is the unfortunate one to get locked in that electric chair, and the switch gets flipped. Now, what was cool about Talon is after the match was over and he was electrocuted, he just went all in on the selling, and he was still shaking as the match was done. Everyone had left the ring.
Nobody turned it off.
Yeah, that's right. It's true. Yeah,
that's
he was
a sign of a professional right there.
Yeah, he was just fully committed to the shaking. But it was fantastic, and I gotta say, good craftsmanship on the chair. It looked like a chair of old, like, early 1950s, 1940s electric chair.
Yeah, this match was a lot, and I mean,
and the only reason I would know that is from movies, people. Okay, I don't like research electric chairs. I've
researched electric chairs.
Yeah, no, but I've seen them in like the Green Mile, for example. That looked like the spot-on reproduction of the electric chair from the Green Mile, which is set in the 1930s.
Yeah, it was an old school electric chair. It looked great. Match was a lot of fun. Pretty much exactly what I expected it to be. It was fantastic.
And you know what? 32 years, but don't bring it back all the time. Don't overuse it. Save it for once every like 3 or 4 years, or to really end that storyline.
Yeah, don't bring back every WCW idea.
Yeah, don't bring, and also don't bring it back every Slaughterhouse. This was an idea that I think MLW redid in their own way, and they made it original and fresh once again. So yeah. I did enjoy it.
Yeah, don't have RoboCop.
Yeah, just don't overdo it.
Come and make a save.
we don't need RoboCop 2 and 3. Stick with one. One was solid. We were actually talking about that earlier. Complete side note. Also, big news: another New Japan star coming over. Hope I'm saying this right. Miyu Yamashita. There we go. I tried to. Miyu Yamashita is coming to MLW very soon in the near future. So keep your eyes on that one. Probably going to see her debut either just before Fightland, maybe at Fightland, or just after Fightland. Now, the one thing I got to stress about this pay-per-view is that the last one, we really didn't have a whole lot of title changes. But this one, we had some big title changes, a lot. And we're going to get into them right off the bat. So first things first, we got Rocky Romero, who we know is going to be fighting AKIRA, title versus title. And he's backstage with Salina de la Renta and Sam Laterna, as Salina is representing him as he is a member of Formosos Dorado. So, you know, she's backstage, obviously representing her investment, if you will. And Sam asking about how he feels about going out there and defending his title. Salina cuts her off and just embarrasses her once again and says it's not about feelings. It's about making sure that everyone knows that Formosos Dorados is running MLW. That's it, flat out. And then she says, bye, Felicia. Not Alicia. So she did at least say bye, Felicia, properly this time. Sam's still not happy with that.
No, Sam wasn't.
Just complete lack of disrespect. And we also get, shortly after that, before we get Rocky versus AKIRA, Manders, he won the impromptu coin toss for the spin the deal and spin the wheel, make a deal match, where he had a plethora of choices of what could happen. So he won the toss to spin the wheel. He's out there, he pulls the lever, and the wheel goes all the way around a few times, and it lands on a falls count anywhere. That's right. So when Manders and Rickey Shane Page tangle for that Openweight title, it will be a falls count anywhere. Right. And it was entertaining. I'll just say that, but we'll get to that a little later on.
The wheel was spun. The deal was made.
The deal was made. Absolutely. Okay. Rocky and AKIRA, title versus title match. You know, this match was everything you wanted it to be. This was two great performers going at each other, giving everything they have. But what was interesting is that AKIRA is already over in MLW. Very much so. AKIRA 2 belts was chanted a few times during the match, and everyone really digging on AKIRA. But what sold it for me and what really validated AKIRA with the MLW universe was the fact that Rocky Romero hit Sliced Rocky twice. And that usually ends 99.9% of Rocky Romero's matches. But in that 0.1 percentage where the odd thing happens, it did. AKIRA kicked out of both twice. Not at just barely 3, just over 2. AKIRA kicked out both times. And then at one point, AKIRA was actually engaging Romero in a laughing contest, saying, go ahead, hit me with all you got. Romero hitting him with those vicious kicks that he's known for. Romero's known for his striking ability. And AKIRA not backing down. Eventually, though, via a low blow and then a sunset driver, Rocky Romero is able to slay AKIRA and win the middleweight championship. So now not only is he the CMLL Cruiserweight champ, he is also the MLW middleweight champ. And 2 belts AKIRA is no more because he's now just one half of the tag team championships. But I love this match and everything it stood for, like my little rundown. But Rob, anything else you want to interject or add on to
no, you pretty much spoke to everything. It was a great match. I enjoyed the sequences. Guys with a little bit of a different style, like Rocky's a striker, a high flyer, and AKIRA's more of a death match striking kind of guy. But he can work. He can wrestle you as well.
Death wrestling, right?
Catch death, exactly. Yeah. So it was a very enjoyable match. And like there's ways to have a match where the loser doesn't necessarily look bad, and the way this match was worked, AKIRA still looked strong despite taking the L. I mean, the finish was what it was. So congrats to both these guys, and we're gonna get to see more Rocky Romero and MLW, which is great.
Absolutely. And I do want to interject real quickly. There was a point where the Gas Mask Goons were going to attack Salina de la Renta, and AKIRA jumped down in between them, almost looked to be scolding the Gas Mask Goons or the followers of the Calling, therefore setting up another Salina de la Renta distraction, which caused Rocky to gain the advantage. But yeah, that's a little concerning right now. The Calling, I'm not sure they're all on the same page, or at least it showed there, because AKIRA not too happy with the Gas Mask Goons, and I'm not sure if they were following his orders or following someone else's orders.
Cracks in the foundation.
Cracks in the foundation, absolutely. Okay, so now it's time for Manders versus Rickey for that open weight title. The match lasted all of 8 to 9 minutes on the ring area, and then they disappeared to the back. And I'm talking 8 to 9 minutes with intros and all that stuff, because there wasn't really much of an intro. Manders came out and Rickey just attacked him right away with the open weight title. They had a couple good sequences in the ring, but then they disappeared. And the problem is that MLW's cameras, they're not wireless, they're wired in. So they had to really rush and try to figure out a solution on the fly for this match, which was heavily entertaining, though. The clips that they did show us throughout the remainder of the night. So at this point, we don't have a clear winner for this match. But what we saw in the ring area, I enjoyed it for what it was. What did you think?
I certainly enjoyed it. It wasn't the best match on the card, but it certainly wasn't bad. These two guys know how to work each other. They're very familiar with each other. And the way that the matches worked, where it was like, okay, well, this match is still going on, but we're gonna move along while they're beating the shit out.
Well, yeah, we have to. I mean, the camera crew, production team is trying to figure out a way to get something wirelessly set up so they can follow these guys around. And if they don't have that yet, we have time to kill. We're not going to wait. So we move along, featherweight match, and we all know Delmi Exo was supposed to take on Becca. But due to Becca's record company, and they're putting a stall on her, she's not allowed to wrestle until her album is complete.
Bullshit.
So, well, I mean, the record company, much like Salina Renta, was just protecting their investment.
Well, they should have more respect for their investment. Let her pursue her artistic
Their investment
freedom.
should finish one thing at a time.
No, don't try and dictate how an international pop star should prioritize.
International means they have to visit more than one continent, right?
She's nominated for a Latin Grammy Award.
Oh my God, she is not. I've checked she's not on any Latin Grammy nomination.
Check properly. She is traveling.
I went to LatinGrammys.com.
She has traveled and performed all over the world internationally.
Really? Okay, you know what, guys? I'm going to pose this question. Let's settle this debate once for all. If you've ever seen Becca live in your continent and you do watch our program and enjoy our program, thank you so much, first off. Second off, comment what country you've seen Becca in, and let's really find out once and for all if she's international.
She's big in Japan.
Please, guys, comment below. I know she's not big in Japan.
Sheboygan?
Very big in Sheboygan, eh? Yeah, Sheboygan. Sheboygan is still North America. She hasn't traveled to different continents to go to Sheboygan.
They loved us there.
All right. Anyways, we're moving on to featherweight action. So as I said, Delmi was supposed to take on Becca, but unfortunately, due to the record label and all that stuff, we're not going to bring it up again because he gets all angry and squirrely. We had a phantom challenger, and the phantom challenger is another member of Hermosillo Dorado. That's right. Salina Renta brings out the always dangerous kick demon herself, Janai Kai. That's right. Rob just hinted to it earlier with the homage in his hair, but Janai Kai is in MLW. And if you guys don't know who Janai Kai is, she's a fantastic talent. Please go through the Straight Talk archives because I do have a conversation with her there. It was one of my favorite ones from earlier this year. She is phenomenal. And I actually believe I did pose the question of, I think you would be work well in the featherweight division for MLW. So go check out her response because it is quite interesting. But regardless, she comes out. She is all over Delmi. And Delmi, it's hard. It's hard when you're a champion, you're preparing for Becca. Becca gets removed, then you're preparing for somebody else, but you don't know who the other person is. At least Alex Kane had a notice of who he was facing, so he can try to come up with a game plan. But when you don't know who you're facing, how can you possibly come up with a game plan?
Challenge.
It's absolutely challenge. And then you have to literally work your game plan on the fly. Now, she did a good job of that, Delmi. She held her own for a while, but Janai, too dangerous with the striking ability that she has, too dangerous with her submission holds. And unfortunately, she makes Delmi tap. And Delmi Exo is no longer the featherweight champion. That's right. Hermosillo Dorado with a statement second win tonight. That's 2 championships for 2 debuting members of Hermosillo Dorado. And that's really showing that Salina knows how to pick them, knows how to work the deals, and already they have the majority share of gold now in MLW.
Yeah. And you look at Janai Kai with her kickboxing, taekwondo background. She's got accelerated reaction time. Delmi didn't have any chance to prepare. I think in a situation where you don't have that opportunity to prepare, but your opponent does, and your opponent already has that heightened reflex, and it was just too much for Delmi to overcome, and those strikes and submissions just wore her down. And we've got a new featherweight champion. So congrats to Janai Kai and Hermosillo Dorado, really on the rise here. It's shaping up to be an interesting 2024 for the league.
Absolutely, absolutely. And guys, don't forget the league has plenty of more great things coming. We've got, again, more fusions coming this week. We've got Thanksgiving on MLW, which drops on the 23rd of November. Then we've got Fightland on the 18th of November. That's the next MLW event available on Fight Plus. And I'm sure they're going to be building up to an amazing card, just like they delivered here at Slaughterhouse. Now it's time for the first of two main events. That's right. It's Minoru Suzuki and Jacob Fatu, a match decades in the making. This is what everybody wanted to see. And this crowd was hot for this match. These two guys were just circling each other in the ring. And we were already getting this is awesome chance. And it absolutely was awesome. These two did not hold back. They hit each other with everything. Suzuki had Jacob Fatu thriving in pain from an ankle and calf hold in the middle of the ring. And I've never seen Jacob Fatu scream that much in pain. But these two went at each other hard. Minoru Suzuki's chest and back were red. Jacob Fatu was giving no fucks and hitting Suzuki with everything he possibly could. But unfortunately, it was not enough for Jacob Fatu. Minoru Suzuki was able to secure the win via pile driver. And Suzuki and Fatu, for me, was match of the night. This was everything I was hoping for, and it delivered on so many levels. But what was great is not so much the result for the match, because it could have went either way. What was great was the show of respect. Jacob Fatu literally kneeling to Suzuki in the center of the ring and giving him the "we not worthy" bowing down to him. And Suzuki then lifting him up, hugging, embracing him, raising his hands up to show that this is a true fighter. And that's what Suzuki's doing in his kind of farewell tour of pro wrestling. He's taking on the best fighters from each promotion: Josh Alexander in Impact, John Moxley in AEW, so forth and so on. And Minoru Suzuki is paying it forward by, if not putting them on the map, making sure the world knows that they should be watching.
Right. And it was, man, I feel like I'm going to do a Matt Striker here. Like, George, these are two tremendous athletes. They have no hesitation. They will give no ground. They will not back down. It was an absolute war. They beat the hell out of each other. And the post-match was the exclamation point on what was a once-in-a-lifetime match between these two absolute warriors. And really, that's what it was. And especially that, I really enjoyed that post-match, just of Fatu laying down all that respect and Minoru Suzuki pulling him up and basically saying, like, you're worthy of the accolades and the applause as well. Just loved seeing it. And Jacob's a guy that doesn't get noticed enough, and he really should, because he can go so well. And he also, shout out Jacob Fatu, he looked trim. He looked like he cut some weight. So whatever the reason for that, he looked great. It showed. These guys hit each other hard. It was exactly what you expect from a match between two guys like this, and I really, really liked it. Fully agree with you. Match of the night.
150%. We also get another Salina de la Renta announcement. She's been all over this card tonight. She is bringing in more CMLL stars to debut at Fightland. So we're going to see some more members of that incredible roster at Fightland. Who will they be facing? We don't know yet. It's still early on. Who will they be? Who will be coming? We don't know. Still too early on. But just be prepared. Keep your eyes to the MLW YouTube page. Follow our socials, Uncle Bobby B, Straight Talk Wrestling, because we usually do post some tidbits about MLW if we'd like to share. If not, you can always watch on the weekly run review show and rewind that we do here. And now it is time for the main event. Or is it? It's not yet, because Manders and Rickey, they're back. They're back in the ring. We've been following the round. They've been dropping little 10-minute clips or 10-second clips, here and there throughout the show. They were in a boiler room at one point. They were in a U-Haul at another point. And Matt Striker also pointing out that was the cleanest rental truck he's ever seen. And it actually was.
He's right.
It was. They definitely washed the hell out of that bastard. For sure they did. They absolutely did. But they're back in the ring. And you know what? Manders was all over Rickey. All over him. And he was poised to win this title. Then AKIRA, kind of rushing out to, I guess, help Rickey, was kind of pushed over by Manders. And then AKIRA went over to Rickey, was pushed in Rickey's direction. And Rickey just kind of grabbed him and threw him back in Manders' direction. And Manders hit him with a dangerous lariat, but it caused enough of a distraction for Rickey to hit the Raven effect on the outside, get Manders for the 1-2-3, and still hold on to that openweight title. But AKIRA, after that win, was not happy, getting up in the face of Rickey, did not want to be the sacrificial lamb for Manders and did not want to be a distraction or a tool to be used in Rickey's manipulation. Rickey not giving any fucks, pushes him down to the floor, not just pushes him down to the floor like a you were a lower life form than me, screams some verbiage at him, which it wasn't inaudible, so I couldn't hear everything that was being said, but definitely there's no longer cracks. The foundation is crumbling literally minute to minute of the calling, and what was the strongest faction in MLW is now quickly falling apart at the seams, literally.
That's the Raven effect.
That's the Raven effect. Well, the fact that the Raven himself has not been there to control these two, they're kind of like the inmates running the asylum right now. And if there is no warden, how can you keep the peace?
That's right.
So
trust in AKIRA, trust in Rickey.
It was all over the place. We had no, and both egos getting the better part of these men. And when Raven was there, he had everybody on the same mission. And you know what else? Mandy Leon has been completely MIA as well. I'm not sure. Mandy Leon and Raven, both MIA. We have not seen the calling at full strength in some time. So I'm not sure if Raven is going to appear anytime soon to try to squash this before it gets worse. But right now, the calling not looking very strong. That's to say the least. And now it is time for our second of two main events. That's right. Alex Kane going one-on-one with Filthy Tom Lawlor. That's right. Last minute change due to an emergency appendicitis that DBS unfortunately suffered. He had to get emergency surgery, so we do wish him the best in his recovery.
Yep. Well,
we want to see you back in MLW. But what a great fill-in.
Yeah.
Huge fill-in. New Japan's own former MLW champion, Filthy Tom Lawlor. And he came out, he was all kinds of filthy.
Yeah, we saw him in the summer at Forbidden Door.
Fantastic.
And he was in his filthiest form. It was great.
Yeah. He was even a little bit more filthy here, almost like he didn't shower since when he got off the plane.
He always comes out super greasy.
That's it's the thing. It's the thing. Like, even though I'm greasy, I'm gonna be even more greasier than the greasiest sleaze bucket, you know.
Like, we actually saw Chris Adonis last night, the former Chris Masters, slip on his own baby oil in the ring. Like, the grease effect is real, and Filthy Tom was greased up.
Yeah, he definitely was. And keep your ears, Bobby dropping hints here. Keep your eyes out, because Straight Talk did sit down with the one and only Chris Adonis coming in a few weeks. So definitely keep your ears and eyes out for that one when it drops on the socials. This was great, back and forth. Loved everything about it. Kane not being able to really hit the fade to black because Tom Lawlor himself has a submission background.
I like this. It was the battle of the rear naked chokes.
Yeah, who was going to hit it first? Who was going to land it? And Tom Lawlor had it in. He had it in, but kind of off an inverted bulldog into a roll-up, if you will, because he bulldogged it, but not really. He just got back position on him.
Submission transition.
Yeah, it was. But Alex Kane was able to do that via the bulldog into a roll-up for the 1-2-3 and retain. Kane, you know, almost squeaked by in that one. I will say, so far, Tom Lawlor has given him the toughest challenge in his title defense reign. And I'm not taking anything away from Kane, but again, you can't really prepare wholeheartedly when you spent, 5 weeks preparing for Davey Boy and you only got a week to get ready for Filthy Tom Lawlor. You can't get ready.
Kane's got that secret weapon, because when the straps come down, look the fuck out.
Yeah, it's true. Kane hits that second gear, hits that third gear, if you will, to definitely be able to pull a win out. And as he's kind of celebrating, we're not really celebrating, just reiterating what we already know, that MLW is Boom-I-A, and Boom-I-A is for the people. Matt Cardona and MSL, they interrupt. And Matt Cardona making his intentions known. He's saying, listen, Kane, I'm next. Next man up is me. Alex Kane pretty much telling him he's not worthy, like he's done to every one of his opponents. And he says, listen, you talk all the shit you want. Why don't you back that ass up in this ring so I can fucking mop the floor with you? And Cardona says, you want to go now? You want to go now? I got 2 million Twitter followers. And Alex Kane says, yeah, I got 6,000. And he's like, yeah? Well, I got 2 million and I should be the face because I have so much more of a following. Kane says, well, your Twitter followers are all dumb.
I mean, he also
wait a minute, I'm one of those followers, god damn it.
He also called him like melanin deficient. That was it, melanin deficient.
Melanin deficient, that's right.
But I have to note, Kane did not achieve his listed goal of tapping out a UFC hold.
He tried, he had it in, just didn't get it fully locked in.
He won it by pinfall, so that goal remains outstanding. But yeah,
so does Oprah, but never say never. The year is we still got 2 months left in the year, man.
Alex said, he respected Matt Cardona. He's revolutionized wherever he's gone, but here in MLW, he hasn't really done anything. So Kane doesn't feel he's worthy of that shot. And say, I respect Cardona. I think It's extremely talented. He's very talented for what he's been able to do.
Mhm.
But I don't think he wants any of that smoke from Alex Kane. I'm gonna be honest. It's I think he might bite off more than he can chew, even with the World Titan Federation backing him up. The Bumaye Fight Club has got just as much numbers. Like I don't think you want that.
That's a fair assumption. He didn't want it, but he tried to go for it because Kane steps out of the ring, runs toward him. Cardona has no choice but to run at Kane, and then it's kind of a brawl between the two. But we also forgot about Tom Lawlor, who was sulking the loss around the ring. He slips in and hits Thomas in the back with a chair, and then he's throwing down shots at Thomas. So as the camera goes off the air, it's just an all-out brawl. And I'm not sure if this means that Filthy Tom Lawlor may be sticking around and maybe inadvertently a new member of the World Titan Federation, just in order to kind of help Matt Cardona with this new challenge.
Just because he's anti-Kane right now. I mean, it's possible. And the mistake was don't sneak attack Kane when the straps are already down. That's like attacking Frieza when he's in his final form. Get him early on when he's fresh and he hasn't hit that fourth gear yet. Like that was your mistake, Cardona. You don't go after the man when the straps are already down.
Yeah, he was already hot. That was a bad idea. You should have just announced your intentions on Thursday. Maybe give the guy a couple days off.
Catch him with the straps up.
That's what I mean. Catch him, and then he might have been in a good mood and been like, "Yeah, okay, you know what? Respect. I'm gonna give you a shot." But yeah, you're right. Yeah. Cardona fucked up. He went for the smoke at the wrong time.
Right,
wrong time. You know what they say? Only you can prevent forest fires.
Suppose. Well, what about like just brush fires? I didn't start those; they just happened.
Hey, Billy Joel said it the best. We didn't start the fire; it was always burning.
Oh God!
All right, guys, that's it for this one. Slaughterhouse is in the can. Our review and recap is in the can. As always, I'm your host, your boy George Mackay. This is
Uncle Bobby B, baby,
or as I like to call him, Salina Kai, here on Straight Talk Wrestling / MLW Rewind. Always on SNME on their Patreon and feed, so check it out there. Follow us on the socials. As always, guys, peace, love, and wrestling. We'll see you on Thursday for our next rewind, and we'll see you on our road to Fightland.
Adios.
Peace.